for this race. 160 laps, 400 miles, pit road speed 55 miles per hour. The fuel window 45 to 48 laps, Steve.
Yeah, we already heard Carlos speak about it earlier. You know, he expects some long green flag runs. If we have those and people try to stretch his fuel window closer to that 48 lap number, these guys are going to have to consider their handling, even on a green racetrack with tons of grip. Daytona in February had some handling issues, and I would expect tonight there's some chance for these cars to start sliding around late in a fuel run.
And some teams opted for a full, slick, low downforce package. They wanted as little drag on the car as they could. They were not anticipating handling being an issue at all. Others, the exact opposite. They thought handling was going to become a big issue. But this race going that late, I believe the guys that had the advantage are the ones that didn't worry too much about handling, made their cars slick, and they'll go faster. I think that'll be a big advantage tonight.
Take a look at this camera on the front of the 42, the bumper camera.
What a great perspective. It really shows you on the front bumper of the 42 how close it is to the asphalt. It really shows you the speed and the closeness in which these cars are going to be running tonight.
What a great perspective. Thank you so much for staying with us. Your patience will definitely pay off. The lights are off on the pace cars. They come out of turn number 4. Pace car will be making the hard left turn, putting the field in the hands of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He got that position by being the fastest in the first practice. No qualifying, set the order by practice on Friday. We welcome you back to NASCAR on NBC as they make their way into the tri-oval. Green flag back in the air. Larson, the first to jump out of line, and that 42 makes it 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2.
He'll have to have somebody go with him. If not, he'll fall back. You see Busch trying to pull up on him as a 3 wide getting into 3.
And they were 4 wide. Jamie McMurray had to go down below the double yellow line, but he was just trying to avoid being involved in an accident. Now it's Austin Dillon on the high side with the momentum. Dillon wants to take the lead at Daytona. The 3 leading at Daytona, the first lap of the Coke 0400. There's the vantage point of Kyle Larson as he looks forward to the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
That gives you a great perspective of just how low the rear of these cars are to the racetrack. You see the 48. Kind of comes up a little bit on the straightaway. As we get down here into turn 3, though, you're going to watch that rear bumper travel down into the corner as it gets closer to the racetrack. You see right there, that's just the force pushing down on that car as it enters the corner.
Austin Dillon jumped out front. He's been able to lead Paul Menard, Dale Earnhardt Jr., David Gilliland, Clint Boyer, your top 5.
You saw Austin, when he took the lead, he immediately went to the bottom. We saw in last night's race, the bottom was the best. After watching that, I believe he thinks that's what he wants to do tonight. Even though his teammate helped pushed him to the lead, he kind of hung him out, hung a left, put his car on the bottom.
3 wide behind him. Have you noticed already, Austin Dillon is blocking. He's running the high line, he's running the low line, trying to stay in front.
And that's what you have to do at plate racing. If you're not willing to block, you're not going to keep this lead, and you will not win this race tonight. You have to, whatever lane's coming, you have to turn and get in front of that lane. We saw it. We see it done correctly there. If it's done incorrectly, there'll be a wreck.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one. Joey Logano damage to the right rear. The 26 of Jeff Burton involved. So the 38 of Gilliland. The 10 of Danica Patrick. Looks like she has damage to the right side.
Just catching the field out of 2. Litter's bad. 10 away.
Sheet metal about to fall off the 22. Also some damage on the 46 of Michael Annette. Let's look back to what had just happened. Coming out of turn number 4,
see right here, the 38's coming down to change lanes. There isn't room. He comes across the front bumper of the 15, spins him to the bottom, and it's the field very tight. You see farther back into the field, the 16 and the 10 get to the back, and the 22 spinners up across the track. And that's what happens in these tight packs. When there's a spin way up in front of the pack, everyone gets out of the gas, and it's so hard when you're only a couple feet apart. Another hard impact there with the 32 and the 38. When you're that close, you don't have enough room. If you don't slow down the exact same rate, someone gets spun out.
And you see right here, David, he's wanting to be on the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to get behind the 88 because he thinks that's the best line, but he just doesn't have it synced up. He did not get a good view of the 15, turned down on the 15s. Nothing Clint Boyer could do right there. All he could do is get into him, and then everything behind him was just as a result of trying to miss this wreck. Give it a ride with Tony Stewart. Coming off turn 4, he sees the smoke, slow it down.
Come all the way down if you want to. Slow down right there. Slow down. Come on, come on.
Ride on the 10 car.
Spinning, back it down, back it down, back it down. Stay high, you're all good.
Right along with Eric Almirola.
They're by themselves. Still outside, spin, very bottom, and stay high. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. You're all good, you're all good. Brake hard.
And you could hear in that, you could hear Eric Almirola lift off the throttle. You could hear him slowing down, and the guys behind him, they just couldn't get. You saw Joey Logano trying to slow down. Somebody got into the back of him, got him turned around. That's a typical Daytona wreck right there. Dave, you got some on the 22?
And now it's damage control time for the Chase Safe Daytona 500 winner, Joey Logano. They'll put an entire right rear quarter panel on that car that came off of the crash cart behind their pit box. They asked Joey if the wheel was straight. He said it's a little off. That may be of concern as they try to get him back out there. We've seen damaged cars go back to the front here at Daytona. Don't know if it'll be the case tonight. He's already lost one lap.
We saw the 38 of David Gilliland move down, trying to get in front of the 15 of Clint Boyer. Here's what the 15 team had to say on the radio.
I mean, he faded up, and then when he come back down, hell, you were to his wheel. Yeah, I tried to check up, and that was pretty stupid. If you'd have checked that much, you'd have got run over. That's why I didn't.
That's the unpredictability of Daytona. He couldn't check up. He had people behind him. Here are the cars that are involved. Joey Logano has that all-important winner sticker on his car as far as he is headed to the chase. The 9 of Sam Hornish Jr. involved in this one. Marty.
And Rick, let's give an attaboy to Sam Hornish Jr., who did a fantastic job. He actually did 2 360s, and when the car was going backwards, he told the team, I had the clutch in. Kevin Bono Mannion told everybody, take your time, fix everything you can. They don't have a lot of damage on that 9 car. That's the good news. They came in, fixed all the flat spotted tires, and took on 4 tires. Danica Patrick on pit road trying to get repairs done to her car. Right front damage, fairly significant on the number 10 car, Mike.
And the 16 of Greg Biffle, I wouldn't say it's insignificant damage, but they can race with it. It seems like they got dinged up on all 4 corners, both front fenders. You can see the rear quarter panel as well. Lots of bear bond on that machine. Expect them to come back down pit road and complete the repairs, however. They were able to get them down off the jack stand and try to get them back out on the racetrack before losing too much lap time. And they're expected to come back down and complete what they had begun last time down pit road.
So Greg Biffle will be making his way back onto pit road. Danica Patrick there now. Check out NBC Sports Live Extra. Live stream tonight's race with additional camera angles, interactive drive-in stats, track information available on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone, and connected TVs. NBC Sports Live Extra brings you closer to every race. And tonight, we're going to be commercial-free for the early green flag racing. That's brought to you by our partners at Smithfield Foods. This is Danica.
Spin it, back it down, back it down, back it down. Stay high, you're all good.
Yeah, you can see that whole time she's looking in her mirror. She never took a hard hit, but you can see her looking at the left side. She's looking in the rearview mirror on the left A post just to see if somebody was coming from behind. It was easy to see out front, but she was trying to help if somebody was coming from behind to try to not get run her quite as hard.
Joe Logano's penalty, he came out after the pace car had already gone past that line on the wall or pit out and then tried to go to the back of the field, but that's a penalty.
Yeah, you have to beat the pace car to that line. That blue line on pit wall basically syncs up with the end of pit road. NASCAR does it. It's a judgment call. There's a light you see there, but you know the race car driver, he's going to try to beat the pace car, and I don't blame him, but they're going to have to hold him, take his lap back. He'll lose a lap in that situation.
And the team was just trying to stay on pit road as long as they could so they could get as much repair work done, and they just stayed there just a touch too long.
Austin Dillon's the race leader. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to restart second. Paul Menard, Casey Kane, Clint Boyer. They're your top five. Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon up in the top 10. Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski also in the top 10.
Yeah, that crash being so close to the front of the field has really helped some guys. Keselowski with a poor starting position. Carl Edwards, you know, Keselowski's gained 22 spots. Carl Edwards 17. You know, when you have an accident that far up in the front of the field and you're fortunate enough to get through it, it's an easy way to gain your track position quickly.
Riding along with Tony Stewart as he looks at a daunting task. Look at all the cars in front of him as we're getting ready for the restart. Another one that has a lot of cars in front of him is Kevin Harvick at Jimmy John's number 4. Field 2 by 2 once again. Pace car will make the hard left turn onto pit road. It's Austin Dillon this time. As your race leader, he's on the inside. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the outside. Austin Dillon won the Xfinity race last night, trying to go for the double. Green flag back in the air.
The battle of teammates at the front of the field. 2 Hendrick cars up top, 2 RCR cars down bottom.
And on that restart, they weren't packed up very tight. I think as this race goes on, when we see these restarts,